G'day team, it's Chris speaking. Welcome back. We are getting into our FTM, so female to male, sex and intimacy series, and we're going to be talking about pre-transition today. So just a quick recap, if you didn't see the introduction a couple of weeks ago, my name is Chris, I'm 29, and I'm a female to male transgender person who is now talking about their sex life. So if you are my family or my close friend, please click away. If you do want to watch it because you are morbidly curious, then by all means do so, but please never tell me about it. So, I want to talk about the differences, I guess, on my journey about how sex and intimacy has changed for me, pre-T right up until today, because it's varied a lot. So basically I'm going to start with pre-transition and what my sex life was when I was identifying as a lesbian, and then we're sort of going to go into depths about why that changes and how it changes and how dysphoria, once you realize what it is, comes into play. So pre-transition, I was identifying as a lesbian, and I occasionally partook in lesbian intercourse. This series is going to be awkward, so just bear with me. I think it's important and it needs to be said. But I was dealing with a female body, I had my own female body, and that's how I was intimate with people. I did not know what transitioning was for me. I had no idea about it, and I went about my day-to-day life. So, my sex life pre-transition was interesting. I was in an 8-year relationship, so in the beginning it was very exciting. No idea that I was trans, and just that I was female. There were definitely things that I was uncomfortable with, and that I was uncomfortable with those things right up until now, basically. Ironically, when I'm a man, I am more comfortable with doing those sexual activities now than I ever was when I identified as a female. So, basically, I did not like any sort of penetration, whether it be with an implement, with fingers, with a penis. I just wasn't into it, didn't like it. I didn't really like that part of my body. Now, of course, when you're with someone for a long time, you learn to trust them, and I would occasionally let both of my partners do that to me. I don't have two partners, just to clarify. I've got one partner. But I'm talking about my partner in the 8-year relationship. I, learned to trust eventually to do things to me, and then that whole situation developed to a point where it was basically me giving and her receiving, and that suited me fine. There were times when I wanted to receive, but that was more to be intimate with that person. And then I got into a relationship with my now fiance, soon to be wife, and it was interesting because she was a lot more aggressive is the wrong word. She was a lot more equal footing. She wanted the sexual pleasure, I guess, to be more equal, and wanted me to receive as much as give, and she was coming to terms with her own sexuality as being bisexual, and wanted to learn the ropes about how to give and how to receive, at the time, female to female sex. And that was interesting to navigate, so I basically crossed a lot of my own barriers, and I opened myself up to rage, and I was uncomfortable with a lot of it, but you sort of just... It doesn't... Because you're uncomfortable, just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean that it necessarily feels bad. For me, it would be okay in the moment, as the moment was happening, and then it would make me uncomfortable. So leading up to it, I would be uncomfortable with any sort of penetration, any sort of, I guess, attention on myself, and on that body part, I definitely preferred being in control, but I let it happen. That was pre-T. Going into testosterone, it changed a whole lot, and basically that part of my sex life just shut off, and I could not receive anymore. But that's another video. So this one, we had the introduction. This was my sex life pre-transition, or pre any notion of transition. I was engaging in lesbian intercourse, what I believe to be lesbian intercourse, and I was uncomfortable with receiving, and I did not understand why I was uncomfortable with receiving for a long, long time. And it's wildly ironic that it's better now. But We'll get to that. Don't be greedy. You'll get to hear all my sordid tales over the next 6 weeks. So that was it. That was my sex life pre-transition. I've said sex a lot in this video, and I apologize. I've made myself uncomfortable. I've made you uncomfortable. But if you're here for it, then what you're gonna do? You're clicking on the video. If you like the content, you want to see more of it, then give it a thumbs up. If you like my face, then click on it. I fucked it up, but that's fine. I'll catch you next time. Next time we're going to be talking about how it changes, why it changes when you come out as trans or as another identity. And yeah, there's going to be science. It's going to be cool. I'll catch you then. Okay, bye.